Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. And hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. And of course, this is another episode of the Insane Asylum, but this is not an insane situation here. We talk about the patients known as the hosts at the legendary radio station WFAN, because I'm kind of with them when it comes to this. Or at least one of the hosts. This is Norman Esiason, a.k.a. Boomer Esiason, former Cincinnati Bengal in the NFL and former New York Jet. And he's had this show in the morning for many, many years. I agree with him with this video is about right off the bat. I'm very sort of negative about them, particularly going after the Mets. But they've kind of tempered it. They've had because the Mets have played so well. But they do provide a service for your hosts. They give me content to make fun of them. Talk about them. But not in this situation. Now, I said in the last video, I talked about Derek Jeter, that I wasn't a big fan of his. It had less to do about him as a player and more about him as a person. I know certain things about him, particularly his interaction with the family, friends years ago. And here's the thing about Derek. I don't know him, but just on the surface, if he doesn't want to do something, he doesn't care. He'll lie about whatever the excuse is. He doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. Now, this situation with Derek Jeter, there's a big controversy that he's not going to be going to the Yankees Old Timers Day. And this is a big one. This is the 25th anniversary of the 2000 Yankees. And he won the MVP in that World Series against my Mets. And I don't believe he's not going. Okay? And I don't believe his excuse. And according to reports, his daughter's birthday isn't on this day. So, according to the morning show, that's not his daughter's birthday. Any of his kids' birthdays. So, there's a real question mark. I also believe that someone in the Yankee organization, probably a player, former player, probably a teammate of Derek, is probably in his ear, telling him there's no excuse. He just doesn't want to show up. That's what it seems to me. But this is from Awful Announcing. And Boomer, I guess, talked about it on Tuesday morning. Headline: Boomer Esiason believes Derek Jeter is lying. Lying. That's quite the allegation. He is lying about Yankees Old Timers Day excuse. Quote, I believe there's an inaccurate part of the story out there. Now, the story came out that he's going to a birthday party. But he is one of these people that he has 3,000 hits, folks, and he's got 3,000 excuses. He's always coming up with excuses. He didn't go to Bob Shepard's funeral. I don't know what the reason was. A lot of people wrote to me and said that he couldn't make an appearance. Another thing, it was another kid's birthday. But I know that he's just a jerk, a stone cold jerk. Player, very good player. 3,000 hits. But as a human being, I guess he is the man of 3,000 excuses. Derek Jeter's already mad at Boomer Esiason for calling him an elitist. Wait until he finds out the WFAN radio host also accused him of lying. Now, this past weekend, there was the Hall of Fame induction of all these great players. Dave Parker, Dick Allen. It's just a disgrace. And neither one of those men had a chance to see what happened. They haven't got a chance to see themselves get in the Hall of Fame because the writers screwed it up, and it took them forever to get in. We also saw CC Sabathia get in, Billy Wagner, former Met, get in, and of course Ichiro. Ichiro, move on from the whole idea of that one guy not voting for you. Why do you vote if you're going to get mocked for not voting for you? He didn't have to vote for you. That's a choice. The guy made a choice. It's his choice. But according to Tiki Barber, one of the hosts in the afternoon show, spent time with Jeter on the weekend. They're good friends. And what's interesting is that Jeter was really mad at Boomer. Now, Jeter is a very vindictive person. We learned that, and he doesn't care if it hurts the team. He doesn't care if it hurts the Yankees, because we saw this years ago when the Yankees brought in Alex Rodriguez. Instead of Jeter recognizing the fact that he was not a great defensive shortstop, and that A-Rod was, he stayed at shortstop. Out of spite work because he was mad at A-Rod for saying something negative about him in the magazine. So he doesn't care If he feels slighted, he will hold a grudge forever. Jeter's also a person known, and we've seen this. I did a video on him last October, where he's a stiff. He's got no sense of humor. Anyway, last week the New York Yankees announced the return of Old Timers Day this August, and that the event will honor their 2000 World Series championship. Unfortunately, the MVP and most popular player from that team, Derek Jeter, won't be there, allegedly because of his daughter's birthday party. Now, this word of the party came out from Susan Waldman. Susan Waldman has been an employee at WFAN since the beginning, and she's extremely close with the Steinbrenners. She's extremely close to all the players. There is no objectivity there. So if someone's telling her this, it's directly coming from Jeter. It's coming from Derek. And they sent her out along like, okay, to get the message out, whatever the message is. If they go to her, that means they're fire alarm fire going on behind the scenes at Yankee Stadium. That's for damn sure. And especially since this was from WFN, they had to send her out. But she didn't go on in the morning show. She won in the midday show. On his WFN radio show, co-host Gregory Giannotti, Esiason said Jeter should be at Old Timers Day and claimed the absence seems elitist. And he is. I thought it was the biggest joke when, right before he retired, they had this commercial of him going to the South Bronx and meeting all the natives, all the residents there. Just a joke. And trying to hobnob with everybody, which he never did before that. Apparently, Jeter heard what Esiason said, and he took that personally. Esiason's WFAN colleague, Tiki Barber, was in Cooperstown over the weekend to celebrate his friend CC Sabathia's induction in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. While there, Barber saw Jeter and asked the former Yankees shortstop if he was aware of Norman's comment. This gets very heated, apparently. Very heated. Quote, he got so mad at Boomer, I had to go buy him shots. Now, this, I don't believe this for a second with Tiki. So mad that I had to dump water on his head so he would cool down and chill out. Boomer should just call him, just ask. He's not an elitist. I watched this clip on X today. I don't believe anything that Tiki said here. I think Tiki's lying. I can't imagine anybody dumping water, physically dumping water on Derek Jeter. Can you imagine him getting doused with the Gatorade in the middle of July? I don't think any teammate would ever do that to him. They'd be afraid to. And I don't believe any of this. Tiki Barber said, Jeter confirmed he's missing the event for his daughter's birthday party, and Eddie, he should have called me. Don't speculate about me, just talk to me. But Norman had already heard about the alleged birthday party excuse. He just doesn't believe that's the reason for Jeter's absence. Tuesday morning, Norman listened to Barber's recap of his interaction with Jeter at Cooperstown. He still thinks there's more to the story. And maybe he's got I don't say it. Quote, I believe there's an inaccurate part of the story out there, Norman said. There's something going on. I believe it. But I don't believe it's what everybody thinks it is. But maybe I could be wrong. Now, I think someone's feeding him information in the Yankees organization that's probably pissed off that he's not going. Early in the show, Esiason said he received an email from someone in Jeter's circle explaining where the Hall of Fame shortstop will be weekend of Old Timers Day. Esiason didn't want to reveal the details, but said if the email is accurate, Jeter will be missing Old Timers Day for a family affair, although it's not for a kid's birthday party. Okay. Boomer Esiason further noted the unreported excuse meets his criteria for a worthy absence. So hopefully Jeter takes some solace in knowing Esiason is now willing to give him an excused absence. Something Yankees radio voice Dave Sims didn't receive earlier this year. It's funny. Norman is he's like a truant officer. I gotta have an excuse. I have to have a written excuse. I have to have a doctor's note. I have to have a note from your wife. I need to know why you can't come. Why didn't you come into work today? You gotta come into work. Now, some people have written to me and said, well, Derek doesn't owe anybody anything. He owes the fans a lot, okay? Because the fans always supported him. And the reality is that there are kids that want to go to that ballpark to see Derek Jeter. He doesn't have to get in uniform. He can go there in a suit, wave to the fans, and go home. He doesn't have to participate in the game. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. He could have gotten there early, talked to the media, and then as they made the introductions, he could have gotten the last introduction to the game at the Old Timers Day. Done what should do what Joe DiMaggio used to do and Mickey Mantle used to do. Is just dress up in a suit, take just wave at the fans, say thank you, appreciate it, and then gone on his merry little way. He didn't have to stay for the entire Old Timers Day. He didn't have to stay for the game afterwards. That's all he had to do. It would have taken a couple of hours out of his day and then gone to his daughter's party or whatever thing he's doing. It's a very simple thing. But Derek Jeter is a jerk. And he's been a jerk off the field. This is the reason why he was always voted the most hated player in baseball. It had less to do with him winning and how he treated other players, outside the lines. Okay? There's certain players that he can't shine a shoe to. David Wright, he can never be David Wright as a human being. David Wright is one of the great guys of all time in baseball. Ryan Sandberg, God rest his soul, is one of the great all-time players and one of the great all-time people. Derek Jeter isn't that, okay? He thinks he's better than everybody. He always did. He's thought that way about himself since the 90s, okay? That has never changed. And it continues to this day, and people see it. And it's great to watch, to be honest with you. We saw at the end of his career, the media was getting tired of covering for him and his strange behavior of inviting women to his home, and then when they left in the next morning, he gave them a signed baseball. Very bizarre behavior. He's a very strange individual. Joe DiMaggio was too, but not like this. This is a little bit different, but let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2, and I'll see you later.